Well, good Wednesday morning. I'm Carly Boyette.
And I am Natalie Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us today on this very special edition of Tampa Bay's Morning Blend. And that is because we have a very special guest to help us kick off the show. We are so happy to welcome our guest co-host, if you will, Inside Edition's Deborah Norville joining us today.
Guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. Very excited to be here because we just moved this week to ABC Action News. We're now on at 7 o'clock.
Yes,
here.
part of the ABC family here.
We're delighted.
So welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, we had nothing to do with the Ryan Lochte thing, by the way.
Oh,
now we wanted a good story to kick off the week. We had nothing to do with that guy jumping onto the stage the other night on Dancing with the Stars.
That was pretty crazy to say the least. And the one thing I do want to ask about Inside Edition, I mean, it has really set the stage for that kind of genre of television. What is it that makes Inside Edition stand out?
It's storytelling. It's good storytelling. The show is coming up, believe it or not, on its 30th anniversary in the next year. And obviously the show is different because, you know, back in the late 80s, you would take a very long time to tell a story. Now it's like, you know, we're twitchy. Everything happens quickly, so we'll have maybe 15, 16 different bits of information. Some will be longer, some will be shorter. But I think the thing that's changed is just the pacing of the show. But what hasn't changed, which is why we're still here, which is why you guys wanted us on your channel, is it's good storytelling. Stories that people can relate to, stories that people go, whoa, you know, they just really get into, and I think that's what works.
Well, and we were talking about the role of social media and just kind of in the news business in general. How has social media changed, maybe even what Inside Edition is doing, or has it, or?
I would say what it's done is it's allowed us to amplify our voice. So we still do the TV show that you watch on this channel, kind of the way we've always done TV shows, but we look at social media as a way of spreading the word. So we'll be on our Facebook page and we'll say, you know, today we've got this and that. We did the same thing. You know, we had a little Facebook promo that we put out a few hours ago for this broadcast. We look at Twitter as a way of saying, oh, this interesting thing happened, come to Inside Edition to find more. And sometimes it's just to keep our brand top of mind. So you might go onto the Instagram feed and it's not necessarily a story we did on our program. It might be an item that's on our website, because our website has a lot more space than the show, right? We're only 30 minutes. They're infinite. So we can have more on our website. But it's just a way of kind of keeping Inside Edition wherever you are. We want to be there too.
How do you decide, you know, as you said, it's just a 30-minute program. How do you decide, certainly when it's a national show, what stories you pick? How much of a hand do you have in picking what goes in the program?
I get a vote, but not a veto. It's the same as in my house. You know, my kids are welcome to express themselves, but I'm the mom. I can express myself, but I'm not the boss. The executive producer is the final authority. A lot of times, honestly, it's just practicality. Which story do we have all the elements that we need? I mean, you guys know this. Like, well, we really want to do that story, but we're missing that element. And then, let's say all things are equal, which is going to be the most interesting to the people? That's really what, when we're deciding what we're going to put on television, we're really thinking about you guys at home. What are you going to be interested in? What are you curious about? What have you told us you're interested in? Because we do get feedback, and that's another thing about social media that's nice.
Can we address Florida, too? There's a lot of stories that come out of Florida and the Bay Area. Florida gets a bad rap, a good rap, I think, sometimes.
It's a legitimate rap
on our state?
I will tell you, it is the same thing as Long Island. So if you remember, there was a period of time when all the weirdness in the world seemed to come from Long Island. There was Jessica Hahn, the church secretary with Jim Baker. There was Joey Buttafuoco and Amy Fisher. I mean, we're going back in time. Going back in time, but it was Long Island, a restricted body of land covered by water, surrounded by water. Am I describing Florida?
The similarities here.
I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on here in Florida, and on behalf of the rest of the country, I would like to thank you and your state for the material you provide, because you're right, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on here.
Have you spent much time in Florida and the Bay Area?
Oh, sure. I mean, I grew up in Georgia, so, you know, a good vacation was when you got to come down here to the beach.
Yeah.
Well, I still feel that way. I've only been here 2 years. It's still a vacation.
Well, I called my husband when I landed, and I was on my way over here, and I said, and there's palm trees everywhere. It's like, oh my God, you're in Florida. So we still get excited. What you guys are blasé about, Outlanders like me get very excited about.
Well, we're not letting you go yet. We're going to test out maybe some of your cooking skills.
I don't know about the cooking, but I'm definitely a good eater.
Okay, sounds good. And